And that can be a good way to take a country you know is going to be a warmonger and sort of lower the impact of that. But if you're powerful enough, like if we were France and we put a warning on Orleans, they wouldn't attack us. In fact, they probably wouldn't attack anybody because the AI is smart enough to know that if they do that, they're going to get attacked themselves, and they know they can't win that. Expand influence is the new sphere of influence system. Right now, we can't do anything about this with Scotland because there's too many provinces, so basically we're not big enough to include Scotland in our sphere of influence. But we could put Tyrone, this Irish minor, in there. And if we do that, then pretty much anybody who meddles with them, we get a chance to go to war with them. And that doesn't just include attacking them, that could mean engaging in diplomacy with them. So that's really useful, but it's also putting us under a lot of obligation because we have to spend some of our prestige. Asking for military access means that we can use their ships, or their ports for our ships, move our troops into their territory, that sort of thing. That can be nice for exploring, especially if you've got a country like Portugal. You could get military access and use their islands as you're exploring the New World. That can be very handy. And there's a strategic benefit to it, and that's why Scotland is likely to do it. And that's because any country that you have military access to, you can't declare war on. You have to cancel the military access. Ask for military access would become cancel military access. And once you've done that, then you can declare war, but it gives them some warning. Now, give military access is the opposite. We'd be letting Scotland do this for us. Now, you'll notice Scotland is very unlikely to do this. That's probably because they want to attack us, so they don't want to commit to something that would prevent them from doing that. If you want to use this as a way to kind of check whether the AI wants to attack you, it can be pretty useful for that. Alternately, you can just give it to a country that likes you, but is really powerful, and hope that they take it, and that means that they're less likely to declare war on you, and they might even help you. Send gift basically is a way to improve our relations with a country. We send a certain amount of money, and this is in parentheses, so we'd be sending 16.2. And that gives us a relations boost with Scotland, which could be a small amount, very low, like 5 to 10, or a much larger amount, like 20 to 25. A large factor of that is the monarch's diplomacy skill. So sometimes you don't want to do it, but sometimes you have to if relations are really going bad. Send an insult is the opposite. It doesn't cost you any money because you're just insulting them, and it makes them mad, lowers your relations, and it also gives them an excuse to go to war with you. Now, if you want them to go to war with you, obviously that's not bad, but they won't always do it just because you insult them. You might have to insult them a lot, and that can waste a lot of diplomats. Claim throne, we can't do it right now because we don't have a royal marriage, but what happens with claim throne is it gives you a casus belli that lets you form a personal union with a country that you have a royal marriage with. And that can be a really useful way to try to inherit a country or just gain some control over it. But the problem with claiming a throne is that it upsets everyone you have a royal marriage with, not just the country that you're doing this with. If you use it strategically and only marry the people that you're trying to take over, it can be really handy and have very few consequences. But if you don't, it can be a little dangerous. A loan offer is pretty much what it sounds like. You offer a certain amount of money to the AI with interest. Unfortunately, it pretty much doesn't work because the AI knows that it pretty much can't pay back anything that it gets offered. So unfortunately, while this used to be a good way in earlier versions of the game to get a casus belli and go to war with somebody, the AI is too smart now to take a loan offer most of the time. War subsidies are like a loan, but there's no interest and you don't get them paid back. You just send a certain amount of money per month for a certain amount of time, and the country just gets that amount of money. Now, the nice thing about this is, first of all, it can help a country that's otherwise kind of weak to afford to fight a war without having to get involved in the war yourself. But the other benefit is that the country will like you a little more while it's getting the subsidies because they're kind of happy to get them. So if you need a quick, cheap way to boost relations, you could give a tiny bit of money during war, that sort of thing, and see if it makes them like you a little more. Sell province, well, the name kind of makes sense, but unfortunately it's more like give province away. And here, let's go to this France, and let's see if we can give them the port of Calais, which is over here on the mainland, and it's England's last province on the mainland. You'll notice that for 400 it says likely, but actually it's very low chance. I've had it happen, but the AI, even when it's very likely, is just not generally happy about paying something. Now, what will happen is if the province is the same culture, the same religion, or they have a core on it, and you offer to give it away, they'll almost always say yes. So what I've done is I've offered the port to them. As you can see, France took the offer. Why wouldn't they? Because they got a free province. Now you might ask why I did that, because then I just gave up a province to France with no fighting or anything for it. But you'll notice that I no longer have any provinces on the French mainland, which means that I'm not bordering France and Spain anymore. So that actually has good diplomatic consequences down the line. Most countries are worried about other countries that they border, but they don't care about countries that are across water, even if it's just one water province like we've got here. France will be a lot happier about having us off their backs, and so we pretty much would only have to worry about Scotland. And since we don't want to make France too mad most of the time because of their strength and also because there's really no benefit in fighting them, if we give them Calais at the start of the game, or give Spain Calais but they're less likely to take it, then that avoids a lot of problems down the line. And that allows us to basically concentrate on the British Isles, and once we've done that, basically nobody will attack us for the rest of the game.